time I try to do a live stream, it cuts out within a minute. Within a second usually. But hello, one person is stuck with it, even a little worry little thing. Oh, it's just so frustrating. How is everyone? How have you been? Are you having fun in your life? I've been watching Good Omens, so that was quite good, although that is a little bit too faithful to the book, I think. It was weird. It was like there was too much faffing about and also not enough. I don't know. I think it was too faithful. I think they needed to be a little bit more loose with it. It was okay. It was good. It was worth waiting for, probably. Hello, Bohemian Rhapsody covers. I'm looking in the wrong direction, aren't I? This is just a really... I definitely need a new device for this. Volume's a bit low. What? I'm not doing anything to stop the volume. It's just... Maybe you should just use headphones, because that's all that I can't do anything about this. You're lucky to get anything, to be honest. It's very, very unlikely that... Hang on, I turn the media up. I don't think that's going to make any difference, really. There's not much I can do about that. Maybe I've got a finger over something. Is that any better? If I do that, rotate device. That's probably not any better. It makes me feel better because I don't know whether I'm right-sided or left-sided. It is better. Maybe it was just something to do with the my finger on the wrong bit. Probably. I don't know where the I don't know where it is. Anyway, so Good Omens I've seen. I've got a new job. Just a job until the summer. Just covering it. It's quite good. It mostly involves singing. It's not a singing, it's user error. It's not a singing job, but it is because it's with little children. I've been telling stories and singing, and that's mainly, and clearing up and painting. So this is fun. I'm just going to be making crafts, cleaning things up after kids, and singing and telling stories, which is, you know, that's a perfect job, really. So that's really cool. And then I will be probably going to visit Wales a little while. And then I am going to Edinburgh, and then who knows? Assistant, yes, I don't know. I'm assistant to assistants, yes, I'm just helping out. I'm just helping people out and doing stuff. So that's nice. I read 3 stories, sang 4 songs, helped with making lots of crafts with yogurt pots, and also cleaning up, and ran around a lot. And yes, and did silly dances. So it's quite a good job, really. I'm not complaining. I've got emergency tax, which means that I've got a lot of the money is taken away from me, and I will eventually probably see that back, but not yet. But you know, you have to do what you. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, any money in this very difficult economy is good. So I'll just have to deal with that. And not go out or do anything, which I can't really, because I'm too tired when I go, even though it finishes quite early. I have to get up early in the morning to go to the work, so I'm not going to really be doing very much, except at the weekends. I went to visit Camden Town at the weekend, and I got a bit of filming done, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to make much of a video out of that. I might. I'm probably going to go to Crystal Palace next week, and I'm going to see the dinosaurs and what remains of the great... is it the Great Exhibition? Anyway, the exhibition from the Victorian times that was in Crystal Palace before. Well, Crystal Palace isn't there anymore. Not at all, but there are still dinosaurs. So that's going to be good. And then, I don't know. So I'm not going to have an awful lot to do in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, what's everybody been up to? Anything fun? Anything exciting? Have you been anywhere amazing on your holidays? I went to, obviously... If you've gone back a week, I saw... Hello, Tux the Penguin. I went to Belfast, and then I haven't really made a video since then, except for the live one, because I tried on Sunday, and it did not work at all. I mean, this one, it cut out after 1 second. That one cut out after less than 1 second and never came back. So I don't know. I need a different device and different internet. I've got a bit of contact lens issue here. My eyes are going a bit weird. But I have got weird eyes. I tell you what, one of the kids today was like, why have you got brown dots all over your face? It's like, yes, I have. They're freckles. Big, huge freckles. I can't help it. I was born this way. I've got big, and he said, there's a dot on your neck. It's like, yes, there is a dot on my neck. Children. Who'd want them? I don't know. I like children, fair enough. I'll have 4 or 5 for breakfast in a bun. No, children are fine. Children are fine, but they do tell you things. Hello, Philip Story. Hello, hello. I'm probably going to meet Philip in Crystal Palace, so he will be my guide. So introduce yourself, Philip. Hello, Philip. There you are, and you'll probably be in the video. What I probably will do, though, is I'll have him in the video, but I'll make him tell me stuff, and then I'll say it to camera as if it's just me that's come up with it. Hello, yes. And I'll be like, haha, he will be in the video, but I'll try and be in the video more. Hello! Hello, Michelle, my old friend Michelle. She's not old, she's the same age as me, but that is old, isn't it? No, it's not. If you're a 4-year-old, it's old, I'll tell you that. But, yes, a friend from back home. We used to play crazy golf and all stuff. Oh, you can't make Crystal Palace? Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I won't go to Crystal Palace. No, I don't know. I'm going to go something. I'm going to do something. So at some point, maybe, not next week, rain check. Because we'll just pretend it's going to rain and we'll do it another time. All right? Yep, I'll do something else. But I went to, very briefly, I found that that's all right. I'll do it some other day. I'll find something to do. I'll just make some videos in my house next week. I've got some interesting hair pieces that my mother gave me for my birthday. I might make a video of those, or some interesting vegan Chinese type food, and well, not Chinese. It's from a supermarket, a giant supermarket with Asian food in it, but it's probably not Chinese actually. Thinking about it, but interesting food from somewhere in the world that is gluten-free and vegan, and I might try that. So basically it'll just be me eating on camera. Yeah, I've eaten too much food lately. I think I'm definitely and the food just stays with me. So yeah, I probably need some more clothes soon. Anyway, so yes, food or wigs, or at some point Crystal Palace. At some point I will edit the Camden one. The thing about Camden is I'm quite familiar with Camden, but I used to work in Kentish Town area, which is quite near Camden, and sometimes we'd go into Camden and it would take ages and ages. And I found just this weekend that right where I worked, if you sort of go over the road and down onto the canal, you can get to the bit of Camden that it used to take ages to get to in minutes. And I'm like, oh no, why didn't I know that when I was working there? What an idiot. That's the thing about if you're in a city, like it took me ages and ages. I used to take the tube everywhere and I didn't get the buses or anything. I was like, no, I'm going to get the tube like a proper Londoner. And so it took me about 2 years to realise that Covent Garden and Leicester Square are very close together. So whereas it would take like 40 minutes to get from one to the other, you can walk there in under 10. And I was like, ugh. So the best thing to do in any city is wander around. Wander around. Don't take the public transport. Well, do take the public transport. Don't take taxis because it's expensive. But mainly wander around. Hope it's safe. It usually is. I mean, I might be like getting into dangerous ground here. That I'm sure there are dangerous cities, but I've never really, even the areas of cities that are supposed to be really dangerous and terrible and awful, I found I can just wander around and not really. Oh, that's bound to be trouble now. That's just like, oh no, and I'll never be able to go anywhere ever again without getting into danger. But I've been to some fairly rough places that are supposedly dangerous, and it seemed fine to me. But then again, there's some places I visited that are like the safest areas in the world, and they're very dangerous, really, because that's, you're not expecting things. So, I don't know. So I'm not going to go around visiting dangerous places just for videos. I don't think so, because that would be foolish. But what I'm saying is walk places. Walking is good. I have walked places that you really shouldn't be walking. Like when I visited Canada, I didn't realise how far away the hotel I was staying in was from the actual
I went to Vancouver was from downtown Vancouver, and I decided I was going to walk from the hotel, which was near the airport, and I think a cop came and, you shouldn't be walking on the road, because there wasn't really any pedestrianised area at all. And the same in Florida, that I was staying in one of the Universal hotels, I think, but there was a convention that I was going to, and in order to get to the convention centre, which was 5 minutes walk away, we thought, oh, we'll walk, it's 5 minutes walk away. But because it's really not geared up for walking, that was quite difficult. There's no pavements or anything, or sidewalks. It's just really hard. So probably don't walk in places where they'll run you over, but walk everywhere else. Walking is very good. It's a good thing to do, and it's good exercise, and it's fun, and you can see things that you would never normally see. So that's what I recommend for everyone. Is this fuzzy? Because my mum said my last live stream was all fuzzy and blurry. And I can't do much about that because of equipment and internet and stuff. So hopefully this is quite good now. Nobody's talking to me. Have you all gone away? I'm just going to assume that it's gone. Yeah, I'm going to assume that this isn't actually streaming and that I'm talking to nothing and that it's not doing anything. Or that there's a circly circle thing. Still here. Haha. Thank you very much. It's about 2009. It's okay. Oh, say eating. It's about 2009. What's 2009? I don't know what's happening. Well, the year, it's 2009. What? Yes, it's all gone a bit weird. Yes, so I'm not around in the daytime anymore, which means that there's a lot of things that I can't do that I would normally do. I can't, it's very London, you would think, would be quite quiet in the daytime, but it's not, because there's lots of tourists and people that are just around and about doing things. So it's not any quieter any day of the week. It's just always quite noisy. The quality of picture is as if it's from 2009. Okay, well, I can't really help that, really. It's just what it is. It is what it is. I bought a laptop that specifically said it did HD, and then I tried to do live stream on it, and it's rubbish. This is not a laptop. This is a tablet, and this is the best I can do, because none of the rest of my equipment is any good. I don't really know what the point of it is, that laptop, saying it was HD film, because it's not. It's just awful. So I can't help this. I mean, to me, this picture looks fine, but then it goes through the internet, comes out the other side really bad. I can't help that. I'm sorry. Let's go and see in the garden. Maybe the garden, the lovely garden. You can see my garden. You can see, do you remember the videos I used to make about how I was looking after the garden and I was making it so nice? So nice. It was lovely. Do you want to see what it's like? Oh, it must be so nice now because I was working so hard on it. Yes, I didn't really. It's just because I put reeds in the pond, and there was also a lot. The trees have dropped all their leaves in the pond, so that's dried up, and the reeds in the pond broke through the barriers of the pots they were in and have gone through the whole garden. So I mean, I got rid of a load of. There's still a few blackberries there. I got rid of most of the blackberries, but they all came back again because there's just massive roots underneath. So it's just like, this is a losing battle. And also, it's just like big lumps of rock and gravel. Do you remember when I was digging things up and finding tools and bones and various different things? Well, that's it. Nothing grows in the garden except stuff I don't want to grow in the garden. But I did have some potatoes that had sprouted a little bit, and I stuck them in the garden. And so maybe I'll have some potatoes quite soon. I'll put them quite near so that I can find them again. But there is a fox that comes into the garden. Mung beans, that is weird. I was thinking I should grow some mung beans because, sprouting mung beans, because I bought some in the supermarket that I bought the other stuff in. I bought some bean sprouts, and I thought I should just get mung beans and make my own bean sprouts. So that's what I should do. So that's a coincidence. Not much of a coincidence, really, because I'm sure loads of people eat bean sprouts and grow mung beans. But yes, a coincidence. But I've got some interesting stuff. I've got some different forms of jackfruit that I mean, jackfruit's quite nice as a dessert, but young jackfruit, you can use this as a sort of meat substitute. Who'd have thought it? And I don't know whether you've had jackfruit. It's quite nice. It's nice in both ways. I didn't get any of the sweet stuff, but I have got. I'll show you this. I'll show you the cans, and then we can. I'm not going to eat them on camera. Eat the cans, but what we got here? What things that I've got in my cupboard? This is going to be backwards. So it's young green jackfruit confit. Confit. Oh, do they? All right, I'll try them here. Confit, which is like it's like duck pate, only made of fruit. Woohoo! And I also got coconut whipping cream. It's all backwards, so you can't see it. And I got I went a bit mad. They were sort of on special offer. Evaporated coconut milk. My mother is a big fan of evaporated milk, which is very post-war really. It's instead of cream, she has evaporated milk. Ideal milk they call it, although the brand is usually not ideal. There's a lot of different types of one. Anyway, evaporated coconut milk, which is like a topping for, but there's no milk in it. It's coconut milk and sweetened condensed coconut milk. Condensed milk, only made of coconuts. Oh. And also I got other things as well. What is it? See that. I tell you what I did get in those big boxes of mystery stuff. I got this, and I don't know what it is because I thought it was potatoes. And there was some chicken soup that it had a label on it, and I gave them to my flatmate, and then they came through, and I thought, are they potatoes or chicken soup? And I thought that they were potatoes, but they might be chicken soup, or they might be some. I don't know what they are. Anyway, mystery meals. What else have I got? I've got a lot of coconut milk, and I've got, oh, look at these. Lychee desserts. They look nice. They're not meat substitutes. And this, look, sriracha green jackfruit. So lots of jackfruit there, and so I'm going to be all right. And a big can of plain jackfruit. So what will Elise be eating for the next couple of months? Coconut milk and jackfruit, I think. Yay! My Brexit diet: coconut fruit and jack milk. Coconut fruit and jack milk. What the hell? That doesn't sound right, does it? It's because it's not right. That's not what I'm going to eat. Anyway, yeah. I do like water chestnuts, although they're very crunchy. I like bamboo shoots better than water chestnuts, really. Water chestnuts are all right, but bamboo shoots are much better. Yum, 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 yum. If I was a panda, I'd be happy eating bamboo shoots all day. Yum, 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 yum. Although they don't eat bean sprouts, and I like those as well, so yeah. Yes, so that's the things that I've got. I'm probably gonna, I don't know how long I've been on because it went wrong at the start. It says that I've been going minus 45 minutes and 12 seconds because it's gone wrong, basically. I'm gonna see years and years at is it 9 o'clock, something like that. Years and years, that's quite good. No, of course it's not a Brexit diet. I'm being silly. It's obviously coconut milk and jackfruit is a stupid middle class diet. Stupid idiot diet. This sort of stupid semi-vegan person. I'm an idiot. But I'm just making fun of my stupid diet. I just eat the silliest. I'm not middle class in income. I'm not middle class really in much of my outlook, except for in food. I'm a very middle classy food person, but nothing else really. I'm trying to work out because somebody who shall be nameless, I used to know, has got something about being working class, and I was like, I don't think they are, based on various things. But I think you can get away with pretending to be working class if you're a sort of London-y type person. Like, what's that guy? Dapper Laughs, right? He's from Clapham, which is very middle class area, very posh. You have to be quite posh to live there. But he got away with saying he was working class. Dapper Laughs, yeah. Oi, oi. I can't do even it. Anyway, because he's Londoner, and apparently that makes you working class in the eyes of this sort of Londoner. I don't think he is, but then again, we were looking up working class, and apparently it's anybody, according to the Marxists, anyone that earns money that doesn't own a business is exploited by the man. the metaphorical man or the woman. Anyway, exploited by the system. So that's quite a broad definition. That pretty much covers everyone that's not Donald Trump, really. Everyone's working class, unless they own the company. But then again, that takes the people that have market stalls in EastEnders, they're working class. Cockles and eels and upstairs apples and pears. I don't know. I don't think there are any. I said once that I didn't know any Cockneys, and then 2 people said that they were Cockneys, and both of them weren't living in Britain anymore. So they were still Cockneys, but I don't think there are any Cockneys still left in London. I really don't. You know, John Cleese got in trouble for saying that London is a foreign city, which is stupid anyway, because it was always a foreign city, and it's never been. It's all cities are made up of people that have come from elsewhere. I'm not from London. I'm not really from England. Dyson is very much middle to upper middle class. Yeah, Dyson's. Anyway, John Cleese is an idiot. John Cleese equates being English with being him. He thinks everybody that's not him isn't English. Yes, exactly. You remember when Clockwise came out and he was going, oh, well, this is typical of this is what the English are like. They get very frustrated and they're very repressed and la-di-da-di-da, and they don't show their emotions. It's like, do they? I think that's just you, John Cleese. I think that's just your definition of English. Not being English, I'm from Wales. I am British. I'm not maybe the best person to judge what Englishness is, but I don't think that John Cleese is necessarily a representative sample of Englishness. Englishness is anyone that lives in England. So I live in England now, even though I'm not from England originally. So technically, I suppose I'm English. I am British. I've never really thought of myself as... I mean, it wasn't until recently that I thought of myself as Welsh, even. I'd never think of myself as English. Anyway, my point is... I don't know what my point is. Pet Shop Boys is English. The Pet Shop Boys are English. Yeah, they're quite English. That's representative of the English character of a certain demographic. The English character is quite diverse. Anyone that was born in England is English. I wasn't, and therefore I'm not. But anyone that is born in England is English. Anyone that has been here for long enough and feels themselves to be English is English, I think, or is British. Maybe it's not English. English is a little bit sort of restrictive. I don't know. I think Englishness is quite it is a sort of thing. It's like you can't be English but you can be British. Maybe that is it. You can be born into England and then be English, but maybe English, I don't know really. I suppose because I'm not English, I'm a sort of alien to this concept of Englishness. But I got the feeling that a lot of English people are quite sort of like protective about what makes you an English person. I don't know. English people, can you tell me what you think? Yes, there you go. Well, that's the right answer, Philip Story. You feel British. British is good. British is inclusive. British is anyone that lives in Britain, no matter where you're from. No matter where you're from. Whereas I think actually in the nations, I think Scotland's fairly inclusive, and I think if you go to Ireland and you've been there for a while, maybe you're not Irish, but they embrace you, I've got a feeling. And with Wales, possibly they embrace you as long as you're not English. And possibly that's it with maybe with Ireland and Scotland and Wales, if you're not English, they'll embrace you as one of them. But in England, if you're not English, but British is different. There's no positive stereotypes. That's exactly. There's no positive stereotypes for English. English is a bit of a weird thing. But then again, you look at the differences in different places in England. I mean, you've got northern people and southern people and London people and people from the West Country and people from Cornwall who are even wester than the West Country and people from the Isle of Man who are technically British but not English. So they're not English anyway. People from the Isle of Man, that's a whole different thing, isn't it? They're not technically part of? Are they part of the UN? I don't know, because there's lots of little island nations dotted around as well, and the Channel Islands is a difficult thing to. Who are they? National identity. If you are British, then that's quite inclusive, I think, and that includes anyone that wants to be British. Like, I got the impression that American is the same, or used to be the same, that if you go to America and you live in America, you are American. Although I've got the feeling that there's a little bit of a difference in attitude these days. But British is good. British is better than English. But English people might disagree. I think, yeah, definitely English has got weird vibes about it. You're like, ooh. Even though there's lots of areas of England that are amazing, it's still, to define yourself as English, I think it's a bit it's a bit strange, really. You can define yourself as a northerner or a Londoner or somebody from the West Country. I think it's people from the home counties that possibly that are very English, the Garden of England, that you're like, I don't know, they're very good. Maybe it's everyone except the Southerners, Southerners, apart from Londoners and people from Brighton who are good, and people from seasides. I don't know what I'm doing now. I don't know what I'm saying here now. I'm trying to be inclusive, and then I'm being prejudicial against people I've never met, which is, maybe that's what Englishness is. I'm not English, so I'm just being weird, aren't I? Muddy territory. Anyway, I don't know what my point was. I can't remember what I started saying. You know, you go off on little tangents and then you go, where did I start? Like, my gran used to do this. We'd be talking about something and then she'd say, what's that biscuit I like? And then she would be like, and then like 20 minutes later she'd go, nice biscuits. Nice biscuits, by the way. And we'd all go, what? My mum does it to a certain extent too. She has a little conversation and she's like, oh, I was talking in my, I thought you'd know what I was talking about because I was thinking it. I'm like, yes, we're all psychic, my mother. That's not so much tangents as she just assumes that you know what she's talking about, because why wouldn't you? She knows what she's talking about. Whereas my grandmother would just go off on tangents, and now that's just me. That's not my grandmother. She'd just say things out of the blue. It's me that goes off on tangents. That's right. I'm tiring people with this brush of me. It's just me. That's what they say. The things you hate in other people are actually the thing that is most you-ish. So you're like, I hate that thing. It's like, that's because that's you, that is. And that's why all prejudice is stupid, because that's just you turning against yourself. Probably. I don't know. Oh, how long have I been going? I don't really know, because it says minus 44.50 minutes. What does that mean? I don't know. Has anybody been taking a tally of how long I've been here, warbling away to 3 people that are not responding very much to me? After I'm 27 minutes, thank you. After I've ranted about Englishness. How English do you have to be to speak? Hang on. How English? No, you don't have to be English. What have I done? No, that's not right. You don't have to be. No, you don't have to speak English to be British. No, you can speak all sorts of languages, because English is not the only language. There's quite a lot of people that speak Urdu, and there's lots of people that speak the African languages, and there's lots of people that speak various Mandarin and Cantonese, and obviously there's Gaelic and Gaelic, and there's also Irish Gaelic. Is that a difference? Gaelic and Gaelic, which is the which? And Welsh, and obviously Welsh was here before the English, and I only started recently learning that. And there's, you know, obviously all the European languages, and there's people that speak all sorts of languages. You don't have to. I think possibly there's probably some sort. Is there some sort of language requirement if you're going to get citizenship? Possibly, but if you were born here and you don't speak any English, then nobody's going to be, I mean, fine. There's pockets of people that have been here for hundreds of years and still don't speak much English, and that's fine because they're English or British. They were born here, and that makes them British, and that's the answer to that. I don't think English language is necessarily. I mean, there's so many languages in the world, and you don't really need it to be English at all, or British. Probably, if you speak English, that's what makes you English, maybe. So everyone that speaks English is English, even Americans and Canadians and Australians. No, I don't think anyone's going to go there. Yes, we'll have you all. It's the British Empire. Ha ha. Even if you don't think that the English have got you, you'll speak our languages. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so I'm trying to learn other languages. Obviously, I'm trying to learn Welsh, which was here before English, and Portuguese, which I've given up on a little bit. I'm still sticking in there with the French, but I've let it slide. Really, Welsh is the only one that I'm sticking to at the moment because everyone's like, you're learning too many, you can't learn. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So I've tailed it back. But I'll go, oh, look, I've lost somebody. Oh, I'm just going to go now. Do I read Welsh books? No, I don't think. I was trying to look for Welsh books. I don't think there's that many Welsh books. There's a few publishers that do Welsh books. I've got to try and find them. I think there are some for Welsh learners, so I'm going to try and learn them because I've been learning since November and I don't feel like I know anything, but maybe I do. Maybe if I got loads of children's books, I'd suddenly go, yay! Like, yeah. Maybe I'm at a disadvantage because I didn't learn it from when I was a child, so you scale it up. There are TV programmes in Welsh, yes, there are, and I'm trying to watch the TV programmes in Welsh, and I think I'm slightly better at understanding what's going on. I do notice I'm like there's something called Keeping Faith, which I didn't realise was a Welsh language version as well, called Bora Merched. See, this is because I don't get a chance to say it. I know the words, but I don't necessarily know how to say them. And I was watching that with the Welsh subtitles in the Welsh, and somebody said Crwban, and I was like, that's tortoise, isn't it? And I was right. And then I was like, I know all of these words, but I don't necessarily remember what they are or know how to put them together. So if I can just crack the remembering why I know that word, and I've heard that word, and just remembering how to use that word, and remembering what... I think this is silly. What I'm saying, basically, the secret to learning a language is knowing what people are saying and then saying it yourself. And that's the bit that I'm failing at the moment. But I think maybe there's some sort of magical thing and I'll just click and go, now I speak it. Because I was thinking of possibly going back to Wales and try and get jobs there and do stuff. But there's a lot of the media jobs and the government jobs and various other jobs. It does help if you speak the Welsh. And so I was hoping that I'd be better at now at doing it. Yeah, practice. So I'm just going to try and see whether I can get better at it. But maybe I never will be good enough to actually get a job in Welsh. I've probably left it a bit late, but never mind. It's a start, and you never know. All right, well, so I'm going to go now, and I'm going to maybe I'm going to whip up some coconut cream and put it on some jackfruit and have a snack. That sounds horrible. But I'll maybe make a cup of tea, yes, and then I'm going to watch Years and Years, which is the new Russell T Davies thing, and then I'm going to go to sleep. And then I'm going to wake up, hopefully,